Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Because I didn't test the mic out. Can someone just let me know that you can hear me? Okay. Okay. Thank you. We're gonna get started in like 2 minutes. I say that every time I think. So we'll get started in 2 minutes. I'm still kind of getting set up, but grab blocks, straps, towels, props, whatever you need for a practice. Again, you don't really need them, but it's always good to have them. Get yourself set up, and then we will get started in about 2 minutes.
Sure. Here's a station for you. Meditation on Amazon Music.
Okay. Moving things around a little bit. Okay. Welcome. Welcome. I hope yours is going well too. All right, this is a beginner's class today. We're gonna just be flowing. I'm moving things around a little bit. I didn't really have time to set up. So, funny thing is, it's my first few days working from home, and I'm like more discombobulated trying to get settled. Okay. All right. Everyone get settled in. Just come to a seated position. You can sit on blocks. You can sit on your shins like so with the block between your ankles. You can sit with your legs crossed in front of you like so. Yeah, whatever is comfortable for you. We're going to do a beginner's flow. What I kind of want to focus on today is the whole less is more, and that you can still have a really good workout and not be so intense. Like, you don't have to push yourself hard. You don't have to do a bunch of crazy poses. Just holding the pose itself can give you a really good workout and build the muscle needed and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I'm going to focus on today. If you get tired or fatigued, you can go into child's pose. So if you're new to yoga and a practice, child's pose, knees can be together or apart with your feet together. And then you're just going to come down, forehead on the floor or on a block, arms out in front of you. For practice, own it, make it your own. Don't think that you have to do everything to the full extent, right? So modify. If something feels better with a block, or if something feels better with a towel or some sort of prop, that's okay. And you found a way to make that pose your own and to feel good in it. And that's what it's about. That's what a practice is. It's finding when something feels good versus having it feel bad or crunchy or just not great in that moment. And tomorrow might be a different day and you might feel completely different about something. And that's okay. All right, so just sit up tall and place your hands right above your knees. We're just going to start sitting. And lift up from the sides of your waist. So you're extending your spine and you're lifting up from the sides. And the analogy I tend to use is pretend like I'm above you and I'm holding a string that's attached to the crown of your head and I'm pulling that string up, lifting you up. Winnie's saying hello to everybody. I think she knows when we start. Just breathe normally through your nose. And slowly close your eyes. And start to deepen your breathing. Taking a long, slow, deep inhalation, followed by a long, slow, deep exhalation. On each inhale, just start to get a little bit deeper, filling up a little bit more each time with more air, but not allowing it to get too stressful. And take a deep breath in through your nose and breathe out. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Good. We're going to do a couple rounds of alternate nostril breathing. This type of breath work is really good for anxiety. So if you are ever feeling anxious, I mean, we are in a time where that is a thing, and it is heightened in everyone right now. So it's a really good thing to practice when you start to feel that way. So what I want you to do, I'm going to give you the beginner variation. So you're going to place your thumb and just allow it to rest on your left nostril, but don't close it off right now. And then you're going to place your ring finger on your right nostril, but again, don't close it off. They're just resting on your left and right nostril. Your pointer finger and your middle finger rest between your eyebrows on your third eye, as when he's licking my elbow. So the alternate nostril breathing, what we're going to do is, when I say inhale, you're going to close off your left nostril and breathe in through your right for a count of 4. And then when I say breathe out, you're going to breathe out through your right nostril and for a count of 4. And then you're going to close that off and you're going to switch sides. So I'll instruct you the first few times and then we'll go from there. Okay? So just listen to me. You'll be fine. So close your eyes, thumb on your left nostril, ring finger on your right, and just breathe normally. Good. And then on your next exhale, just breathe all the air out. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Close off your left nostril and breathe in through your right for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close off your right. Breathe into your left for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to add on. Close off to your left. Breathe in through your right for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in through your left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just return to normal breathing. Place both hands right above your knees. And then slowly open your eyes. And we're going to come down to our backs. So lower down to your backs and hug your knees into your chest. Just holding onto your shins. You can even grab opposites if you like and just really hug yourself in. Good. On your next exhale, extend your left leg down to the floor. Interlace your fingers around your right shin. Flex your left foot. Get your left toes to point up towards the ceiling. Good. Inhale, draw your left knee in. And exhale, extend your right leg down. Toes point up. Good. Inhale, draw both knees in. Exhale, place your feet on the floor. So knees bent, feet on the floor. Take your right ankle, place it over top of your left knee. Flex your right foot. Okay, option 1 is to stay here. Option 2 is you're going to draw your left knee in. Left calf and shin are parallel to the floor. And then you're going to interlace your fingers behind your left thigh. So your right arm comes through the middle of your legs, interlacing your fingers. You can also use a strap or a belt behind your left thigh like that. So if you can't quite grab behind your thigh, that's fine. You can use something to assist you. You're just drawing your left knee in. Good. Inhale, straighten your left leg. Press your heel up towards the ceiling. Leg doesn't have to go 100% straight. You're just going towards straight. Make sure that you're pressing down in both your hips. So don't allow one hip to lift up more than the other. Good. Exhale, bend your left knee. Place your left foot on the floor. Place your right foot on the floor. Take your left ankle, place it over top your right knee. And again, you can always stay here. Okay, if you already feel some sort of stretch, then you can just stay here and let that stretch happen. Then you're going to draw your right knee in as your second option, interlacing your fingers behind your right thigh. Flexing both your feet, drawing your right knee in. And again, you can use a strap behind your right thigh if you need to. And then slowly straighten your right leg. Think about your heel reaching up towards the ceiling, toes drawing down, and your leg does not have to go 100% straight. You're just going towards straight. Pressing your sacrum down. And then exhale, bend your right knee. Place your right foot on the floor. Place your left foot on the floor. Draw your knees into your chest one more time. And then grab behind your knees and rock yourself forwards and backwards 3 times. And then rock yourself up to sitting. I had a bruised tailbone and it's getting a little bit better to rock myself up to sitting. So I'm super excited about that. Still hurts, but I'm getting there. All right, come into a tabletop position. Knees are hip bone distance apart, directly underneath your hips. And then you're going to untuck your toes. So you're going to press the tops of your feet, like where your shoelaces are, and your shins into the floor. Arms in one line, wrist, elbow, shoulders. And then you're not bending your elbows, but you're just micro bending them like hair, just so that the inside of your elbow stays pointing to the inside. It doesn't start to point out when you lock your elbows out, like mine kind of point forward when I do that. And you can see, I can see in the video right now that my elbows look like they're broken. Spread your fingers. Press your hands down and lift your chest up away from the floor. So when you do that, we tend to round our upper back. So think about lifting up, but still drawing your shoulder blades together towards one another. And then think about your hip bones and draw your hip bones up towards your bottom ribs so your tailbone is lengthening back. Keep pressing down into the tops of your feet. And your next inhale, go ahead and drop your chest. Lengthen your rib cage forward. Look up for cow pose. And then take your entire exhale to round your spine, look towards your belly button for cat pose. Inhale, lift up, lengthen, look up. Tailbone lengthens back and then lifts up. And then take your entire exhale to round. Tailbone lengthens down, then starts to draw under. One more time. Inhale, lift up, lengthen, look up. And take your entire exhale to round. Go slow. Go with your breath. Good. Inhale, come back to the center into a neutral tabletop position. All right, next inhale, lift your left arm up to shoulder height, palm facing in. Press down into your right hand and lift up away from the floor. And then what tends to happen is we tend to sink into our lower back like this because we're trying to do whatever is easiest to do this position. But we want to engage our muscle. So we're lifting up away from the floor, drawing our rib cage towards our hip bones, pressing down to the tops of our feet. Working. We're working. Keep breathing. Reach your fingertips forward. Okay, exhale, place your hand down. Switch sides. So press down into your left hand, reach your right arm up to shoulder height. Palm facing in. Pressing down into your left hand, lifting up away from the floor. Reaching your fingertips forward. Lengthening your tailbone back. Keep breathing. Don't sink down into your left shoulder. Keep lifting up. Okay, exhale, place your hand down, come back to the tabletop. Step your right foot back, come into like a half plank position. So your right leg is straight and you're really pressing your thigh up. So your quad is pressing into your hamstring, front thigh into your back thigh. Press your heel back and start to draw your heel back until you feel that stretch in your calf. Good. Inhale, come back up and lift your right leg up a couple inches. Doesn't have to be very far. Up to hip height is fine. And then think about your toes pointing down towards the floor. Keep lifting your arms up. Good. On your next exhale, I want you to turn your right leg out at the hip socket. So your hips don't necessarily move, right? It's just your leg is turning out from the hip socket. And then exhale, draw your right knee in towards your right elbow. And exhale, extend it back. Toes point down. Reach your heel back. Good. Exhale, turn your leg out one more time. Draw your knee towards your elbow. Good. Inhale, extend it back. Toes point down. Bring the ball of your foot down. And then exhale to tabletop. And we're going to switch sides. I'm going to turn so you can see my other side. So step your left foot back. Swing the ball of your left foot. And press your heel back. Think about what your tailbone is doing as well. So lengthen your tailbone towards the back of your heel. And then just press your heel back until you feel that stretch in your calf. Good. Inhale, come back up. So keep your left leg nice and straight. Lift your left leg up a couple inches. Toes stay pointing down. Same thing with your arms. Don't sink down. Lift up and away. Good. And then from your hip socket, turn your left leg out from the hip socket. And exhale, bring your knee into your left elbow. Inhale, extend it back. Neutral, toes point down. And then turn your leg out. Exhale, knee to elbow. Good. Inhale, extend it back. Exhale, place the ball of your foot back on the floor. And then come back to tabletop. Good. Inhale, lift your knees up an inch off the floor. Just an inch. Keep lifting up. Exhale, put your knees down. Inhale, lift up an inch again. And on your exhale, you're going to press your hands down and lift away from the floor as you lift your hips up and back, coming into downward facing dog. So I want you to bend your knees a lot and lift your heels up a lot. And by doing that, it's going to allow you to really lift your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Good. On your next inhale, slowly walk your hands to your feet. So you're walking your hands back to your feet, keeping a slight bend in your knee while you do that. When you get back there, make your feet hip bone distance apart. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen. Place your hands on your shins. Still a slight bend in your knee, and then lengthen your rib cage forward, really lengthening from your lower spine. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen. And exhale, forward fold. Good. Inhale, reach your arms in front of you and over your head, reaching your fingertips up, lifting up from the sides of your waist. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen. Hands can be on your shins or your upper thighs, whatever feels better. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen again. And then exhale, place your hands down to the floor. Walk your hands out to a plank position. So you're walking your hands all the way forward. Feet go back. Hopefully your animals aren't interrupting you like mine is. Place your knees down right where they are on the floor. So your knees should be behind your hips. So if your knees are underneath your hips, walk your feet back more and then just drop your knees right where they are in space. From here, I want us to focus on what's happening with our arms as we lower down to the floor. So one thing I want you to do first is draw your hip bones up towards your bottom ribs. So instead of your tailbone lifting up, your tailbone lengthens down towards like the backs of your knees. And then I want you to draw your upper arms in. So your elbows start to kind of point back. And I want you to shift your weight forward. So your shoulders come forward. And then very slowly lower down to the floor. Keep your elbows in. Okay, I can't see you. But assess what you just did. And tell yourself that you did a great job. And we're going to come back to that in a second. Hands are underneath your shoulders. Draw your upper arms in. So don't let your elbows flare out. Draw your upper arms in. Untuck your toes. Press the tops of your feet down. Lengthen your tailbone towards your heels. On your next inhale, lengthen your chest forward. Then lift up a couple inches for baby cobra. Keep drawing your upper arms in. And exhale, release, come down. Inhale, lift up baby cobra again. So I want you to pretend like you have a block between your thighs. Imagine that block there and press your thighs into that imaginary block and try to get the block to go up towards the ceiling. So your inner thighs rotate up. Perfect. Okay, exhale, come down. One more time. Inhale, lift up baby cobra. Press down into all 10 toes. Lift your hands up an inch. Breathe. Good. Exhale, place your hands down, come down. And then inhale, press yourself up to tabletop. And exhale, tuck your toes under. Lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. And again, bend your knees a lot. Lift your heels up. And then press into your hands and lift away from the floor, up into your shoulders, and then all the way to your tailbone. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up behind you to hip height only. Try not to lift it up anymore, because when you do that, your legs start to turn out. So just to hip height, and have your toes pointing down. So same thing with that block there. Try to get your inner thigh to rotate up. And then your exhale, I want you to bring your knee forward to your chest. So you're shifting your weight forward, knee comes forward. Inhale, extend it back. And exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, extend it back. Exhale, knee to chest. Good. Inhale, extend it back. Place your foot down. Come back to downward facing dog. And then from here, drop your left knee to the floor and step your right foot back, or thinking about getting them. This is a good opportunity to use them. So instead of having your hands on the floor, you can put your hands on blocks, and you're creating a lot of space to help you get to where you need to go. Always an option. Tuck your back toes under and lift your back leg up off the floor so you're in a low lunge. And then just make sure that your right knee is in line with your ankle. Inhale, come up onto your fingertips, whether you're on the floor or on blocks. Lengthen your ribcage forward. Back leg is straight. Exhale, place your hands down. Step your left foot forward to meet your right foot. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms out to the sides and over your head, reaching up, lifting up. And exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen. Exhale, place your hands down, step your left foot back again, come back into your lunge. And again, you can use blocks here. It's going to help you to lift up. So come up onto your fingertips, lengthen your ribcage forward, firm your outer hips in. Keep lengthening your ribcage forward as you lift your torso up. Lift your arms up to a high lunge. And we're going to hold this here. And this is where, you have to really feel the pose and what's happening when you're in the pose. Keep your arms up as mine are down. Draw your upper arms under. Pretend like you're holding a block between your hands. Sink down a little bit more into your right knee. Make sure your right knee is in line with your ankle. And then bend your left knee just like an inch or two so you can lengthen your tailbone down. A lot of times what happens is if we go to straighten our back leg, I'm over-exaggerating a little bit, but our tailbone tends to stick back and stick out. So by bending your back knee, you're allowing your tailbone to lengthen down so you can really lift up from your waist. Keep breathing. Okay. Inhale, straighten both your legs. We're going to take a little breather here. And exhale, come back to your lunge. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, lunge. Inhale, stay here. And on your exhale, you're going to shift your weight forward, hovering 2 inches above your right knee. Arms can be out in front of you, or you can reach them down by your sides. Keep breathing though. Keep firming your outer hips in, especially your outer right hip. Firm that in towards the middle of your body. Press down into the heel of your right foot, your front foot. Keep breathing. Keep lengthening your ribcage forward. Inhale, lift your torso, reach your arms up. Okay, exhale, place your hands under, frame your right foot, step your right foot back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. You can always go to child's pose if you need to. And then your next inhale, lift your left leg up behind you to hip height. toes pointing down. So what happens is when you engage your glutes, your leg likes to turn out. So you have to really rotate your inner thigh up to get your toes to point down. Okay, next exhale, shift your weight forward, bring your knee into your chest. Inhale, extend it back. Exhale, knee to chest. Lift your knee up higher. Inhale, extend it back. Three-legged dog. On your next inhale, place your right knee to the floor, step your left foot forward between your hands. Yeah. And then move your left foot to the left, just like 1 or 2 times, because you don't want your feet in the same line, in the same lane. You want to create some space there. And again, if you have blocks, you can use them. And then tuck your back toes under, lift your back leg up off the floor. Again, block shoes are helpful here because it allows you to lift up a little bit and gives you support for that. Come up onto your fingertips, lengthen your ribcage forward. Firm your outer hips in. Good. Exhale, place your hands down. Step your right foot forward to meet your left foot. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms out. Head, reach your fingertips up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Slight bend in your knees. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Then exhale, step your right foot back, come back into your lunge. And you want a long-ish stance. You don't want to have a really short stance so your tailbone lifts all the way up. And you don't want to be so long that your tailbone is like, your pelvis is all the way down. You know, just make it long-ish. And your heel is lifted, but it's still pressing back. All right, and then have blocks if you need them. Inhale, come back to your fingertips, look up, and then lengthen your ribcage forward. Firm your outer hips in. Back leg is straight for now, pressing down into your left foot. And then inhale, lift your torso, reach your arms up into a high lunge. Sinking down into your left knee over your left ankle. Don't let it go past your ankle. If it goes past your ankle, make your stance a little bit longer or lift up a little bit. Keep your arms lifted. Keep breathing. Okay, bend your back knee just like an inch or two so you can lengthen your tailbone down and lift up. Pretend like you're holding a block between your hands. Is it burning yet? Okay, on your next inhale, straighten both legs. Press down into the big toe mound of your left foot. Okay, and then exhale, bend, come into your lunge. Press down into your heel of your left foot here. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, lunge. Inhale. And then your exhale, come forward. So you're drawing your ribcage forward. Hover 2 inches above your left knee. Arms forward or reaching behind you. Firm your outer hips in, especially your outer left hip. Press down into your feet. Reach through your fingertips. Keep breathing. All right, inhale, lift up, reach your arms up. Exhale, place your hands down. Step your left foot back and exhale to child's pose. Take a little bit of a break. That was killer on the legs. All right, just be in front of you or down by your sides. And your next inhale, slowly press yourself up to tabletop. Step your right foot back, step your left foot back, so you're in a plank. And then exhale, bring your knees down right where they are, shift your weight forward. So we're coming back to lowering down. So you want to draw your upper arms in. So that way when you lower down, your elbows don't flare out. So draw your upper arms in. So you're drawing them in. And then shift your weight forward and slowly lower all the way down. Okay, how was that? Was it good? Okay, hands under your shoulders and just move your back a little bit so your wrists and elbows line up. And then press down to the tops of your feet. So feel your big toe touching the floor and then feel all the way over to your baby toe touching the floor. Good. On your next inhale, lengthen your chest forward first, then lift up for baby cobra. Slide your shoulder blades down your back just a little bit and lengthen your tailbone towards your heels. Exhale, release, come down. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra again. And exhale, release, come down. One more time, inhale, lift up, baby cobra. Really press down to the tops of your feet so your kneecaps lift up. And then from here, option one, always you can stay here. Option two, straighten your arm about 50% so you're in high cobra. You're still lengthening your chest forward, so you're not just back bending. You're lengthening your chest, drawing your upper arms in. Elbows pointing back. Pressing down into your hands. And then exhale, release, come down. Inhale, press yourself up to tabletop. Tuck your toes under and lift your hips up and back. Exhale, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lift your hands and walk your feet to your hands. All the way to the top of your mat. Feet are hip bone distance apart. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms out to the sides and over your head, reach your fingertips up. Exhale, hands down by your sides. If you have a block, I want you to grab it. If you don't, you're just going to pretend that it's there. It's still the same thing. It's fine. It's just nice to hold something, but you absolutely don't need it. All right, so I want you to stand at the top of your mat in Tadasana with your feet hip bone distance apart, grounding down to all four corners of your feet. And then pretend like you have a block or grab your block, place it between your palms. So if you don't have your block, you're just going to have your arms down by your sides, and I want you to imagine that block between your hands. It's actually kind of cool to imagine something there. In fact, I think it's kind of more challenging to imagine it there. But I want you to press into that block or that imaginary block. And then your next inhale, don't drop your block. Inhale, reach your arms up over your head. Draw your upper arms in. Lengthen your tailbone slightly towards the floor. And then I want you to bend your knees just a little bit. And then exhale, shift your weight forward. Come down halfway. You're trying and you're lengthening. Okay, don't drop your block. Exhale, fold over. Pretend that block is still in your hands. Inhale, reach the block forward and up over your head. Keep that block there. Exhale, sit down to chair pose. So you're bending your knees, sitting back into your imaginary chair with your imaginary block. Good. And then look down. If you can't see your toes, shift your weight back a little bit. So a lot of times people are kind of like this. So you got to shift your weight back. And then a lot of times people stick their tailbone out. So think about drawing your tailbone down, so towards the floor, like what my hands are doing. Lengthen your chest and your rib cage from the sides of your waist. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Hope y'all are breathing. Good. Inhale, stand up, reach up. Okay, one more time. Exhale, slide on your knees, come down halfway, hold it. Firm your outer hips in. You can have a slight bend in your knees. Don't straighten them all the way. Shift your weight forward. So you're like, feel it in the balls of your feet. Keep breathing. Okay, and then exhale, fold over. Keep holding that block. Then inhale, reach up over your head. Block is still there. And then exhale, sit down to chair pose. Utkatasana. Pretend like you're holding that block. So what the block does while you're standing in this pose, or sitting in it, should I say. So what the block does is it helps keep everything contained and in. A lot of times people will do something like this. They'll bend their elbows. So it just allows you to know what you're doing with your muscles to hold that block. And then straighten your arms. Draw your shoulder blades towards each other. Keep breathing. Great. Next inhale, stand straight up and bring the block down. And put the block off to the side. Even if it's imaginary. Have fun with it. Be like, good job, block. And then come to the top of your mat. In mountain pose. Arms down by your sides. Rotate your arms by the shoulders first. Then flip your palms forward. Tadasana. Inhale, reach your arms in front of you and over your head. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step your left foot back, so you're back in your lunge. Spin your left heel down to the floor. Bring your back toes in slightly. Press down into both feet. Firm your outer right hip in. And then inhale, windmill your arms up and around, coming into warrior two. Sinking down into your right knee, but again, don't let it go past your ankle. So make your stance a little bit longer. This is another one. If you hold this pose, you can really start to fire up your legs. So I want you to press down into your right heel. Press your left thigh back. Rib cage is squaring towards whatever the front is. You're reaching your fingertips away from each other. Both arms in one line. So engage your arms. Don't let them just hang out. Reach them away. And then lift up from the sides of your waist. Draw your outer right hip under. A lot of times people stick their right hip out. And then their right knee goes in. So something like this. So you want to draw your right buttock under and press your inner right thigh to the right. And get your knee to track over your second toe. If you need a break, you can always straighten your front leg. Hold it for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Reach your arms up. Breathe in. And exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten. Reach your arms up. Think about your back hip drawing forward. Exhale, warrior two. One more time. Inhale, straighten. Reach your arms up. And exhale, warrior two. Sink down into your right knee. Keep drawing your right buttock under. Flip your front palm. Come to reverse warrior. Reach your right arm up. Reach it back. This is where your front knee likes to cave in. So really draw your right buttock under and press your inner right thigh to the right. Sink down a little bit more. Good. Inhale, slowly come back up to warrior two. And then place your hands down to frame your right foot. Step your right foot back and exhale to downward facing dog or child's pose, your choice. On your next inhale, look to your hands. Walk or step to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms out to the sides and over your head. Reach your fingertips up. Exhale, hands down by your sides. Okay, stand at the top of your mat. I will not forget warrior two on the other side this time. I forgot to do warrior two on Saturday. On the other side, so now I'm like thinking in my head. All right, stand with your feet hip bone distance apart. Lift up from the sides of your waist. So option one is to have a strap nearby or a belt or anything that resembles a belt. See, I'm using a gi belt, but you can use an actual belt, anything. And then I want you to lift your right knee up, right foot parallel to the floor. You see how my right hip is a little bit lower or higher? So this is like higher. So you want to put your hands on your hips and you can kind of see where your hip bones are. Keep your hips in the same line. Good. Okay. Option one is you can take that belt or strap or whatever you have and wrap it around your foot. Option two, you're just going to take your two peace fingers and wrap around your big toe. Place your left hand on your hip. Press your left thigh back. This is all we're doing. We're just practicing our balance. Keep lifting up from the side of your waist. And if you have this strap, it just allows you more accessibility. If you can't grab your foot, you can have the strap and have it as high as you need it. Keep breathing. Okay, we're not going to put our foot down yet, unless you have to. You're going to release your foot. Bring both arms out into a T shape. Right foot is parallel to the floor. Bring your hands to your hips. Okay, place your foot down for a second. So what we're going to do is practice a transition into a lunge, okay? So your right knee is lifted. When you start to shift back, you can bend your left knee a little bit, and you're going to start to straighten your right leg as you step back and lift up. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. All right, so get ready. Feet are hip bone distance apart. Just place your hands together, heart center for now. And then lift your right knee up, foot flexed. Firm your outer hips in. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to start to shift your weight forward. Keep your spine long. You can bend your left knee a little bit. As you start to reach your right heel back, and then slowly step back into your high lunge. Reach your arms up, breathe in. Straighten both legs. And exhale, lunge. Inhale. Exhale, place your hands down to frame your left foot. Spin your right heel down to the floor. Bring your right toes in. Firm your outer left hip in. Keep your left knee bent. And inhale, windmill your arms up and around. Sinking down into warrior two, arms stretched out. A little more balance. If you have any kind of stress or tension, you can move your left foot further out to the left. Make your stance a little bit wider. You can also shorten your stance a little bit if you need to. Press your right thigh back. Rib cage is squaring towards the front. Reaching your fingertips away from each other. Sink down a little bit more. Gaze over your front middle finger. Good, and then draw your left buttock under and keep pressing your inner left thigh to the left so your knee doesn't cave in. Now press down into your left heel. Really press your left heel into the floor. Good, draw your front hip up. A lot of times I'm very guilty of this where I start to sink back. So draw your front hip up. Good, inhale, straighten your front leg, reach your arms up, breathe in. And exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten, reach your arms up. And exhale, warrior two. One more time, inhale, straighten, reach your arms up. And exhale, warrior two. Keep drawing your left buttock under. Press your inner left thigh to the left. Flip your front palm. Inhale to reverse warrior. Reach your left arm up. Reach it back. Don't bend your elbow. Keep it straight. Lengthening through the sides of your waist. Sink down a little bit more into your left knee. Keep pressing your right thigh back. Good. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale. And exhale, place your hands under frame your left foot. Step your left foot back. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to take a few cleansing breaths here. So what you're going to do is breathe in through your nose and then open your mouth, stick out your tongue and sigh it out. Good. Breathe in through your nose deeply. Open your mouth, stick out your tongue, sigh it out. One more time. Breathe in through your nose deeply and then open your mouth, stick out your tongue and sigh it out. Perfect. Okay. Lift your hands. Your next inhale, walk or step your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms out to the sides and over your head, reach your fingertips up. Good. Exhale, hands down by your sides. Okay. Other side. So if you use a belt on the one side, use the belt on this side as well. You can place your hands on your hips if you like. And then lift your left knee up, left foot parallel to the floor. You can place your fingertips on your hip bones. That way you can kind of see what's happening and if one hip is lifted up higher than the other, because you want to keep them level with each other. Good. And then wrapping the strap around your left foot, or taking your two left peace fingers and grabbing your big toe. I'm going to do this side this time, or the strap this time, so you guys can see it. This is all you're doing. And again, the strap just allows you to grab on wherever it's accessible for you. Keep pressing your right thigh back and keep lifting up. So if you're holding your big toe and your right knee is bent and you're kind of hunched over, that's where, okay, try not to put your foot down. Release your foot. Just bring your hands to your hips. Right knee level with the hip. Foot parallel to the floor. Keep from your outer hips in. And then exhale, place your foot down. You can roll it out if you like. Okay, so we're going to do that transition where you're starting here. Hands together, heart center. You lengthen your chest forward. Slight bend in your right knee. Pressing your left heel back as you step back. Okay? All right, here we go. Breathe normally. Lift your left knee up, foot parallel to the floor, hands together, heart center. Keep lifting the chest. So that's one thing, is you don't want to round your spine. You want to keep your spine long, the natural curves. And then start to shift your weight forward. Slight bend in your right knee as you press your left heel back, and then slowly step back. Reach your arms up, breathe in. And then exhale, place your hands under, frame your right foot, step your right foot back, downward facing dog. Your next inhale, drop your knees to the floor. Come to sitting. Okay, do 1 or 2 back bends. Option 1 is to take the block, if you have one, and you're going to place it at the lowest level underneath of your sacrum. Okay, your sacrum is by your tailbone. You should feel very supported. Your tailbone and your sacrum should feel supported by the block. Okay, this is option 1, supported bridge pose. Option 2, you can take that same block and put it between your upper thighs at the most narrow. Option 3, if you don't have any block at all, that's cool. It's all right. Walk your feet back so your knees and ankles line up. And I know you can't really kind of lift up, your knees go forward. So you want it so that your knees and ankles are in one line. Feet are hip bone distance apart, arms down by your sides. Press down into your feet. Press your arms down so you're engaging your legs and your arms, even just in this position. And then on your next inhale, I want you to start to tilt your tailbone up. You're not going to be able to really see me and see my tailbone because that's how subtle the movement is. But you're just gently starting to lift your tailbone up towards the backs of your knees. Then from there, slowly lift your hips, lifting about 50%. Continuing to lengthen your tailbone towards the backs of your knees as you roll up, all the way up to your shoulders. Drawing your chest towards your chin. Press down into your heels. So really press down into your heels as you lift up. Press your shoulders down. Lift and open your chest. You can come down at any point in time. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you're just going to start to roll your shoulders under you. Open your chest up a little bit more, but keep your arms pressing into the floor. Press your heels down. Press your arms down. Keep lengthening your tailbone towards the backs of your knees. Good. Your next exhale, slowly lower down, 1 vertebrae at a time. Tailbone lasting to touch the floor. Good. Bring your feet to the outer edges of your mat. Bring your knees into touch for a constructive rest pose. Okay, we're going to do 1 more, but you don't have to do another one if you're not feeling it. Sometimes people are done after the first one, and that is completely fine. Back bends, are not something that people like to do more than once. If you have any kind of back issues, back conditions, be very cautious of doing back bends and deep twisting. So this is all your practice. So you can either do supported bridge pose. You can just rest in constructive rest pose. Otherwise, you're going to place the block back between your upper thighs. Bring your feet back so your knees and ankles line up. Toes point forward. Feet are hip bone distance apart. Arms down by your sides. Press your feet down into the floor and press your arms down. And on your next inhale, start to tilt your tailbone up towards the backs of your knees. And then very slowly continuing to lift your tailbone as you start to roll up your spine. Up to your shoulders. And then press your heels down into the floor, lifting your hips up, lengthening your tailbone down. And then thinking about your back ribs pressing into your front ribs. And if you want to open your chest up a little bit more, start to roll your shoulders under, pressing your arms down. And if you have that block between your thighs, or just imagine a block between your thighs, and you're pressing your thighs in towards that block, and think about the block trying to go down towards the floor. On your next exhale, slowly take your entire exhale to lower all the way down, tailbone lasting to touch the floor. Good. Bring your feet to the outer edges of your mat again. This time, we're going to do a little bit of movement. You have the option of just staying with your knees knocked in. So what you're going to do from here is you're going to very slowly, on your entire exhale, drop your knees all the way to the right. And then inhale through the center slowly. And then exhale to the left. Inhale through the center. Exhale to the right. Inhale through the center. And exhale to the left. Good. Inhale through the center. And then exhale to the right. Bring your arms out into a T shape or a cactus shape. If you don't have enough room, you can bend your elbows. A T shape if you have the room. And then option one is to stay here with your feet wide, knees going over to the right side, or you can pick up your right foot and place it over top of your left knee. And if that's too much, you don't have to do that. And then exhale, release your right foot back to the floor. Inhale through the center. And then exhale, drop your knees to the left. So your feet are framing like the outer edges of your mat. And then option one is to stay here. Option two is to pick up your left foot, place it over top of your right knee. It's kind of like giving yourself an assist. And exhale, release your left foot to the floor. And then bring your feet together for balanced angle pose, Baddha Konasana. So press your feet together. You can even, if you like, to hold on to your toes and kind of interlace your fingers around your toes, you can do that. Otherwise, you can place your hands right above your ankles on your shins, and then lift your chest up. So if you're rounding a little bit in your lower back, something like this, I would recommend sitting on something like a folded towel, like so. And you come to the very edge of it, and it will help your pelvis lift up and tilt forward. So it gives you that anterior tilt and creates length and that natural curve of your lower spine. So wherever you are, lift up. And on your exhale, you're going to come forward. And then when you can't go forward anymore, you're going to round over. And inhale slowly. Come up. And extend your right leg out. Keep your left knee bent and bring your left foot to your inner right thigh. And flex your right foot. And try to get your hips to be even. So your right hip might have come forward a little bit. So you want to make sure that your right hip and left hip are in the same line. And your left foot can be at your thigh. It could also reach your arms up. Keep your spine long. And exhale, you're going to do a slight twist over your right leg. And then come forward. And when you can't go forward anymore, bring your hands down to frame your right leg. And then inhale, lengthen your spine. So lengthen from the sides, twist. And inhale, slowly come up and switch sides. Send your left leg, right foot in. Left toes pointing up. So the reason why I don't necessarily have people hold a strap around their foot or grab their foot, because a lot of times people use it to pull. And if you're just pulling, yeah, you get a nice stretch, but you should go toward your own range of motion. So I want you to focus on the muscles that are needed and required to get you to your destination, okay? Left toes pointing up. Inhale, reach your arms up. And then exhale, it's like a twist. So you're twisting, using your core to twist you over your left leg, coming forward, using your core and your strength to come forward. Then just placing your hands down to front of your left leg. And then this is where the work is required. So inhale, lengthen. Exhale, using that core to twist you a little bit more, coming down a little bit further, and then rounding over. And if you're working up here, because as soon as you come down further, you start to round in your entire spine, that's fine. Because this is work. And that's okay. So wherever you are today, that's fine. Good. Inhale, slowly come back up. Bend both knees. Come back down to your backs. Draw your knees into your chest. Take a happy baby pose. Grabbing onto the outer edges of your feet, your inner feet, your big toes, or behind your thighs. Knees right to the outside of your ribs. Feet pointing up towards the ceiling. Elbows to the inside or outside of your legs. Pressing your sacrum down, so don't allow your tailbone to lift up. Press your sacrum down. Relax your shoulders. Good. Slowly release that. You can keep your knees bent with your feet on the floor or extend your legs all the way down. Reach your arms up and then give yourself a hug. Think about what arm is on top right now. Reach your arms up. Switch the arm that's on top. Preparing ourselves for our final rest pose, Shavasana. Very slowly release your arms down by your sides. If you're by a wall, you can do legs up the wall. I will demonstrate. Otherwise, just extend your legs down, arms down by your sides. If you would like to do legs up the wall, you come into a fetal position with your bottom to the wall and your feet, and you're going to slide your feet up and your legs up. And then get your bottom to touch the wall. Arms down by your sides. That's one option. Just come into your Shavasana. Closing your eyes. Finding stillness in your body. Returning to your breathing. Maybe you find yourself in a different place now than you were at the beginning of this class. Just accepting wherever you are at this moment. Allowing yourself to feel peace and rest. And slowly start to deepen your breathing. Move your fingers and toes. Circle your wrists and your ankles. And then very slowly roll over to one side. Pause there for a moment. And using your top hands, slowly press yourself up to sitting. And come to the top of your mat in any comfortable seated position you like. And once you're there, bring your hands together to heart center and close your eyes. The light and love in me acknowledges and honors the light and love in every one of you. And we bow to complete our practice. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste. Thank you so much again for joining me for this class. I would not be who I am today without you guys. It fills my heart immensely to just know all of you and to be able to teach for you. So I'm truly honored and grateful to have all you in my life, even if I can't see you due to quarantining. I hope you all are doing well and staying healthy and continue to stay healthy and well. It's important to me to keep these classes free. I just kind of went back and forth with it, and I really want these classes available for everyone. And I know it's really hard times right now for people, so it's super important for me to keep these free. Only if you would like to donate, you can through Venmo. It's my name, Candace Kovahay. But again, this is not required. It's just all donation based at this point. So just wanted to put that out there, but I really appreciate all of you. And again, I'm so grateful to be able to give these classes to everybody. I hope you all have a great week. I will see you Thursday. Winnie says goodbye. I love you all very much. Namaste. Say bye, Winnie.